Hi, I'm Noel, and I have a couple of questions for you guys. Do you like Beyblade? Would you like to visit Japan, or do you have any plans to visit Japan? If that's the case, you're watching the right video. In today's video, I will be talking about where to purchase Beyblade in Japan, the locations, and the name of the stores. This video is going to be based on the previous videos that I have made, the Bey Hunting videos. I'll leave the link for the Bey Hunting playlist in the description, along with my SNS accounts. I have Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and I recently started Threads, so feel free to check them out. Make sure to follow them. Okay, let's get right into it. So, this video is going to be divided into 3 parts, to be specific. But it's like 2 big parts. So the first part is going to be where to purchase new Beyblades. So in this case, it's going to be Beyblade X. Super exciting. And the second part is going to be where to purchase second-hand bays. And the third part is also second-hand bays, but where to purchase Beyblades from the previous generations. It doesn't have to be second-hand bays, but in this case it means Beyblade Burst, Metal Fight, and a Plastic Gen. So that's going to be it. And you might have some worries if you have any plans to visit Japan. You might think, where should I purchase bays? I'm afraid if the bays are going to be sold out. Well, I've got you covered. So, part 1, where to purchase new Beyblades. So the easiest answer is to go to a toy shop, such as Toys R Us. There's another one called Hakuhinkan. There's a big one in Tokyo, but there's also another one in Haneda International Airport. So if you're coming to Japan using that airport, make sure to check that store. They have a really good selection of bays. So if you're looking for Beyblade X, in most cases they will have the stocks of the new bays, along with the stadiums and like the additional gear such as the launcher grip. But as for the prices, they will be sold in the original price. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but they don't usually do discounts and stuff. So if you're looking for a new base, you'll have to pay the original price for the new base. But if you're looking for bays that are slightly old, so let's say there are several releases of Beyblade X in the future, and if you're looking for the previous releases of the new base, some stores offer discounts. But as for Hakuhinkan and Toys R Us, they don't do that so often. So what I suggest is to go to electronic stores. There are 3 big electronic stores in Japan, such as Yamada, Big Camera, and Yodobashi. You might think, why going to electronic stores for Bey Hunting? Well, these stores started off as electronic stores, but eventually they started selling other products, and they also started selling toys, and that went well. So now they call themselves electronic stores, but they sell anything, and these are in like huge buildings, so you'll find them easily, and they are all over Japan. So if you're visiting Tokyo, you won't have any problem. If you're going to Osaka, Hokkaido, or Kyoto, well, you can also find them, I think. And there are many stores like this, so if you're staying in a hotel in Japan, I think you'll probably find one close to your hotel, so you don't need to worry about how to find them. They're all over Japan, and all of these big electronic stores sell Beyblade. And these stores offer discounts sometimes, pretty good deals. So if you're curious about prices, I made like a video visiting several electronic stores and comparing the prices and stuff. So make sure to check that video. And the location I suggest the most for visiting these electronic stores is Shinjuku. It's at the center of Tokyo, easy access, even from the airport or basically anywhere from Tokyo. So it's a good place, it's pretty big. And you can find Big Camera, Yodobashi, and Yamada, I'm not sure, but you can go to several electronic stores. I made a video visiting the electronic stores in Shinjuku, so if you're curious about that, you can look for that Bey Hunting video. And it's really fun to go to these electronic stores, you know? Seeing a lot of bays like that in electronic stores, it's actually really fun. And sometimes these electronic stores host little tournaments. But looking back at previous generations, well, these tournaments were meant for like children under junior high school or something like that. But as for Beyblade X, I'm not sure we can count on Beyblade X, because Beyblade X is meant to be for everyone, all ages, all gender, and it has always been like that. But the tournaments were limited to young generation, so we don't know, maybe we'll get Beyblade X tournaments for adults even in these electronic stores. Let's count on that. So if you're visiting Japan, it would be nice to stay in Tokyo and go around these electronic stores, but you don't need to worry too much about where to stay because you'll find these stores basically anywhere in Japan. So what I suggest the most, if you're looking for Beyblade X, go to one of these electronic stores. If the Bey you're looking for was sold out, you can just go to another electronic store and I'm sure you'll find the Bey you're looking for. As for the question, will we be able to find Beyblade Burst Beys in Japan in 2023 in electronic stores? Honestly, I'm not sure. It's going to be a tough adventure if you are willing to do that. Some stores, if they have some stocks left, they might still sell Beyblade Burst Beys, but with the release of Beyblade X, the odds are pretty low. So let's move on to part 2, which is second-hand stores. So basically, there are 2 second-hand stores that I would like to recommend to you, that is Book Off and Surugaya. I have introduced both of these stores in the previous videos that I have released. I have featured Book Off many times. It's so cool! It's like Beyblade heaven. They sell second-hand Beys that are in good quality. Some of them have stickers, some of them don't have stickers. When it comes to like random booster Beys, you can see these Beys packed and that aren't even used. So sometimes they have new products and that's so cool. You get to choose like parts. Sometimes the parts are divided. In case of Beyblade Burst, you can purchase specific drivers or things like that. So that's what I suggest the most. Book Off is cool. Surugaya, you can find one in Shinjuku again, or there's one in Yokohama. Well, basically there are many stores, and as for Book Off as well. But there's one warning about visiting secondhand stores. My apologies for my voice. I had a really spicy spaghetti earlier. Well, back to the topic. If you're visiting secondhand stores, sometimes you might not be able to find Beys. So what I mean is that not all Book Off stores and not all Surugaya stores sell Beyblade. So you won't have any trouble finding the stores, but make sure to check if these stores are selling Beyblade. You can call them or you can look online and you'll find the answer. But if you're visiting huge stores, I mean, there's small Book Offs and big Book Offs, and the big ones usually sell Beyblade. As for Surugaya, I recommend the one in Shinjuku. As for Book Off, I recommend the one that's in Chiba. The station's name is called Inage Kaigan, and it's actually pretty close from Tokyo Disneyland. So if you're willing to visit Tokyo Disneyland, maybe you can also visit Book Off on the same day. After you enjoy Disneyland, it's like going to another theme park called Beyblade Heaven. The cool thing about secondhand stores is that you get to see different products every time you go, because people sell and buy all the time, and the prices are insane. Check the prices for yourself, you will be surprised. If you go to Book Off after the release of Beyblade X, probably most Beys you'll find will be Burst Beys and some maybe Beyblade X Beys. We need to wait a bit more to see Beyblade X Beys in secondhand stores, but you'll find Burst Beys without problem. Some Metal Fight Beys maybe. So let's move on to our third topic, which is how to purchase Beys from other generation. Now, you won't have so many trouble finding Burst Beys because, you know, if you go to Book Off, you'll find a lot of Burst Beys, a lot of cool Burst Beys, some rare Burst Beys maybe. When it comes to Metal Fight, it's going to be a bit hard. I made a video visiting Book Off looking for Metal Fight Beys, and the result wasn't that bad. I actually found some Beys, some rare Metal Fight Beys, such as Soul Blaze, which is one of my favorite, and that was such a fun adventure. So you can go to secondhand stores, but again, you need to make sure if the store you're visiting are selling Beys, and sometimes you can just ask if they have Metal Fight Beys, because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So it's not a solid option, but that's also a fun part of Bey hunting, so make sure to check the secondhand stores as well. There's another one called Jungle. There's one in Akihabara, which is a really cool place in Tokyo. There's also another one in Osaka, and I visited the one in Osaka. It was awesome. There are so many bays from the previous generation, even the first generation, so visiting jungle is going to be a great option. That was such a fun bay hunting. Oh, I want to go back. That was Beyblade heaven. But since now I'm in Tokyo, I need to take the bullet train or the plane to get to Osaka. Next time I go back to Osaka, I'll definitely check again. They also had a lot of Bidamans in case if you like Bidaman or Botomans. So if that was the case, there's a store called Mandarake, and I heard they have a good selection of bays from mainly Metal Fight. So if you're a fan of the Metal Fight generation, you can go there. But as for the prices, they might be slightly more expensive compared to Book Off. So, you know, based on your budget, choose your store carefully. And there's another option. I'm sure you don't really want to hear this, but that's going on the internet, purchasing bays online. There's an app called Mercari. That's like a flea market app. So it's like eBay, but there's no auction. You can simply purchase product you like. But you need to have an address in Japan. If you're visiting like a friend in Japan, you can send it to your friend. But if you're staying in a hotel, that's going to be a problem. So I don't really suggest this option. But if there's a bay that you really want from the previous generation and you're visiting Japan, you still can't find it, well, purchasing bays online could be an option. But I think going to second-hand stores is a great option. So the locations that I recommend in Tokyo is Shinjuku, Akihabara, and I mentioned Chiba earlier, but Chiba is actually next to Tokyo, so it's not that far. So going to Book Off Inage is another option that I suggest, and I hope this covered your question if you had any. But if you're visiting other places, not Tokyo, if you're visiting Osaka, go to Jango. I'm not really familiar with Kyoto, but you'll find the electronic stores, so you won't have any trouble finding Beyblade X bays. So that was pretty much it for today. I hope this video helped. And after the release of Beyblade X, I will do more bay hunting videos in Japan. Look forward to it. Alrighty, tell me what you thought about today's video in the comments, and if you have further questions, feel free to ask these questions in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, have a great day everyone. Bye bye!